watching Property TV.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Warburton and welcome to Season 3 of Property Elevator. In Season 2, we saw many property professionals face the angels to try and secure that all-important funding for their property projects. And this year, we're back for more. Now, we've seen over the last year just how important it is to have your money working for you. With inflation rising and bank interest levels at their lowest in years, it's never been more important to put your money to good use. This is why so many people turn to property investing. It's not easy though. You often need both the finance and the knowledge to take that deal over the line. And that's where our angels fly down to help you. In this show, we give property professionals the chance to pitch their deals to our 5 seasoned property investors. Helen Chorley, John Howard, Paul Mahoney, Ranjan Bhattacharya and Nicholas Woolwork, or who we call our property investment angels. These developers have the chance to walk away with the backing of someone who can bring both the finance and experience to their deal. You're watching Property Elevator.
Hi, I'm John Howard. I've been a property developer and investor for 40 years, and during that time I've bought and sold in the region of 4,000 properties.
My name's Paul Mahoney. I'm a property investor. I also founded Nova Financial Group, which is a property investment advisory company.
My name's Helen Chorley. I'm a professional property investor. I'm also a co-founder of the Property Sisters UK community, supporting women and SME developers in the industry.
My name's Nicholas Woolwork. I'm an investor, developer and owner of propertyforum.com and the development brand Red Brick.
My name is Ranjan Bhattacharya. I'm a property entrepreneur, an investor and developer for the last 30 years.
Can you talk to us a bit about the comparables? Because you mentioned there's not much of a market for this, which for me is slightly concerning.
I don't know what the other's going to do, but as usual,
Gang up on you probably.
gang up on me probably.
You don't have your own build team yet.
We've not seen anything like this. Like, I squealed when I saw that.
I thought you'd said your bit.
No, not at all. I was waiting for you guys to finish off.
Hello Richard,
Hi Elizabeth.
welcome to Property Elevator.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the deal that you've brought today.
Okay, so the deal I brought to the table today is a 2-storey, 4-unit apartment block in Frinton-on-Sea.
Okay,
It's very tired, but it enjoys spectacular sea views.
amazing.
And it has planning consent to put an additional floor on, which will house a 3-bed luxury penthouse. And then the plan is to refurbish the existing part of the building and turn it into a luxury development and eventually sell them for a profit.
Beautiful, sounds very exciting. So what are you after from the angels today?
There's 2 deal structures I'm going to put forward to the angels.
Okay.
One is for 100% investment, which will be circa 2.3 million at a profit split of 70-30 in favour of the investor. Or they can invest the initial deposit for development finance at around 600k for a 50-50 profit split.
Brilliant, so 2 great options.
Yes, hopefully.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I'll chat to you when you finish.
Okay.
Richard is coming in next, and I believe he's come up all the way from Cornwall today, and he's got a deal in Frinton, and Frinton is an area or town I know very, very well. So it'll be very interesting. Do anyone else know Frinton well?
You know everywhere well, John.
Not everywhere. Richard,
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming all the way up from Cornwall to see us. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about the deal, please?
My name's Richard Roach. I live in Newquay, Cornwall, and I work for a private developer delivering coastal luxury property. My role there is a development manager, so I see projects through from initial feasibility, inception, all the way through to completion. I've just completed an apartment block in Falmouth in Gillingvays Beach, 54 units with a GDV of circa 30 million. And I'm currently undertaking a refurbishment and conversion of a Grade 2 listed building in Truro for my company. So the deal itself is in Frinton-on-Sea. The reason why I've chose this location is because I think it's extremely well placed to capture the seismic movement of people wishing to relocate to the coast. Frinton is in commuting distance to London. It has excellent transport links to the rest of Essex and London. The key thing it has is a huge undersupply of luxury apartments which are in demand. And more importantly, it ranked 17th in a recent home buyers report for the top 20 coastal locations for Londoners moving to the coast. The deal itself is to purchase an existing 2-storey block of flats which has 4 units, both at 74 metre squared each, 2 on the ground floor that have 3 beds, and then 2 on the first floor that have 2 beds, but they're all the same square metre. The difference is the ones on the first floor have a smaller kitchen, a larger kitchen, and they put en suites to take the space of the 3rd bedroom. Despite the property, which you can, okay, it's not on there, but I did send it. It's basically
we've seen it. That's
it's a kind of 50s, 60s nondescript red brick building, and it looks tired. I wouldn't say it's run down, but it's definitely tired. But the thing it has going for it is located on the Esplanade, and it has uninterrupted views of the ocean. Now, this particular property has planning consent to add an additional storey to house a 3-bed penthouse, which will have balconies facing the sea, but also a higher level roof terrace, which is 118 square metres. The proposals also allow to refurbish the existing part of the building, add a lift and lift shaft so it becomes DDA compliant, but most importantly to redress the facade in this striking Art Deco design to match in with Esplanade Court, which is situated next door. And this, from what I can see next door, Esplanade Court, is the only luxury development in Frinton-on-Sea. So the key financials on this deal are as follows. The purchase cost is 1.25 million. This is excluding legals and stamp duty. However, from speaking to the selling agent, they believe that the landowners are potentially chancing their arm and have put that out there and seen what happens. I've put this in the appraisal, but I do believe there is scope to reduce this. Build costs just shy of 900,000. This includes a 10% contingency, and I've priced in around £90,000 of abnormals, which include the facade works and the lift. Professional fees are coming in at 93,000, which includes design fees and completion fees. Sales and marketing 18,000, which I've struck a deal with a local agent. Finance costs is 182,000, but this depends on one of the deal structures, which I'm going to go into further, and bringing the total development cost to a possible total of just over 2.5 million. Now, the GDV is potentially 3.68 million based on a gross internal area of just over 4,500 feet. This is based on a blended square foot rate of £806 per square foot. So the deal I'm offering is basically can be structured in two ways. Option 1 is 100% angel funded, where one of yourselves could potentially fund the whole of the deal. This provides a profit of just over 1.3 million. Profit on GDV is 36%. Profit on cost is 58%, and the investment required would be just over 2.3 million. The profit split for doing this would be 70-30 in favour of the investor, because I recognise it's a considerable amount of money to put up, and also as I went into at the start of my pitch, it's about securing a partner rather than just someone for this deal. So the total profit for the investor would just be shy of £950,000. Deal structure 2 is development finance, with the angel investor putting up the initial deposit to secure the development finance. The total profit on this would be obviously lower due to the financing cost and would be just over 1.1 million. This lowers the profit on GDV to 31% and the profit on cost to 46%. The investment required from the investor would just be shy of 600,000. The profit split I would take down to 50-50, but I'll potentially look at 50-60 if it was of interest. The total profit on the 50-50 split would then be 582,000. I've appraised both options as a development appraisal, cash flow and sensitivity analysis, and you will see that with both options you get your money back within month 20. I've also carried out a sensitivity analysis to show that even if there was a knock in values or an increase in build costs, which you're all expecting due to the effects of COVID, this scheme still has a good level of profitability that I believe. So in summary, I think due to its location, the comparables, which I can talk about in a minute, the planning consent, and the complexity of the works themselves. There's no engineering, there's no groundworks, the risk is always in the ground, as we know. There's none of that. I think this represents a good deal, and I would love the opportunity to work with you on this. I'd like to thank you for listening and invite any questions you do have.
Richard, very impressive.
Yeah, I think you've answered all
You know,
the questions.
good to have someone on that
you've
knows
done
their
a,
stuff.
you've done a
Wow.
great appraisal of it there.
Yeah.
So
I'd
who would
say
like
it's
to
one of the
start? Oh, it's one of the best, definitely.
It is, and this pack is just, you can tell that this is what you do for a living. You do this professionally. We've not seen anything like this. Like, I squealed when I saw that.
I couldn't do anything like that.
It was
So
like, wow. Yeah, so talk to me about the time frame on this. I'm sorry, you said repayment within month 20. Talk me through the rest of the time frame, please.
So I think I've allowed, for memory, a month sort of pre-exchange, 3 months from exchange to completion, 2 months to carry out any investigations of the existing building and get the stage 4, REBA stage 4 design before we start on site. I've spoke to a few local contractors in Frinton and both Colchester to get an idea of build programme. It was actually very difficult because the deal that I was going to bring here today fell through at very short notice.
Oh.
And so on Friday, I spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday trying to find this deal and trying to get a builder to look at this.
You've done all that.
Yeah, I missed the football and my partners weren't very happy with me. But so trying to basically, everyone's so busy at the moment to try and get a builder to really look at this and throw anything more than a metre costs and an idea of programme is very difficult.
I think this is a very interesting proposition. I've got a couple of questions. I think looking at the building next door,
Yes.
they've got 2 floors in addition to this existing building.
Yes.
I'm just wondering why the reason why the planning for this building wasn't 2 extra floors to match. Was that a planning issue, or was that to do with can the existing building structure take it issue?
Well, that was the sort of first thing that I looked at, Ranjan, really, because I'm always looking for an angle to maximise GDV, lower costs, etc., and it just screamed out that, you know, why have they done that? But on doing some due diligence on the planning portal, there had been 4 or 5 applications all kicked back, and they haven't gone for the density of next door. All they wanted was to get 2 units on the top floor. Every time it was knocked back, they went for 1, it was knocked back. The only reason this time it got passed is because they were willing to do the Art Deco architecture on the facade, which is quite interesting.
Good answer. You've got an answer for everything, and that's very impressive.
Comprehensive.
Ranjan, they couldn't do it
Very
on the
comprehensive.
PD, on the new PD, 2 extra floors.
Actually, there is maybe something there to look at.
Hang on, is that John giving Ranjan advice on PD? Did I just witness
I
something,
just
John?
put it out there.
It must be rubbing off when you sat next to him.
I've sat here for days. I'm learning from
you're
him.
learning.
And
Osmosis.
I'm not on one of his courses yet.
No, you're getting it for free. Do you know if it's an Article 4 direction error or anything
I
like
wouldn't
that?
have thought so.
I don't have an answer for everything.
that's
I
okay,
didn't look
don't
at
worry.
that, sorry.
Yes, I've got one and give an answer. That's a tricky question.
Just to echo what the other guys said, look, the numbers are great, the pack's great, the presentation's great, everything's been impressive so far. Can you talk to us a bit about the comparables? Because
Sure.
you mentioned there's not much of a market for this, which for me is slightly concerning.
Frinton does have basically luxury apartments, non-existent. It's not like the South End or anything like that. But I also see that as an advantage because there's a clear market. And when I was looking, I was starting to think this isn't a deal because there's just no comparables. But next door in Esplanade Court, very handily, about 7 or 8 days, the ground floor unit came up, which is, from what I can see, basically comparable. It's slightly bigger, doesn't have parking and it has a garage, as these will. And that basically came on for $850. It sold within a week for full asking price. So that was basically my lead comparable. So what I did then, I plugged in those figures, just sort of prorated it to get the square foot, and it came out at $650. Applied that to my development, did not put any uplift for the fact the first floor units will have balconies, or the fact the penthouse is exclusive with a balcony and a terrace. The GDV was just over £2 million, and without financing costs, that was still 21%. I thought on the face of it, compared to what is happening next door, is low. So I called that agent and he was extremely helpful. So he apparently has been in the area for 36 years, clearly knows what he's talking about, and he valued, I've put his email in the pack there, and what he did is he valued the planning drawings, and he said the ground floor and the first floor would be anywhere from 750 to 850, and the penthouse from anything from $1 million to $2 million. I thought the higher end of that was potentially juicy. So what I did is I took an average of his bracket, then I took the benchmark of the 650 square foot from over the road, and then I applied that as an average to my development. There is, although we're not a like-for-like comparable with a sort of luxury contemporary, there's another apartment further down the Esplanade. I think I've included it in the pack as well. Further down, it's not purpose-built, it's a conversion of a sort of period house, first floor, slightly bigger. Decor is really dated. It's got a bit of a sort of inset terrace balcony, still got the view. If you prorata that down into square foot, that's still coming out at 675. So there's value there, I believe.
Just to test your vast numbers slightly, sales and marketing, it's less than 0.5%.
Yes, so the agent that I spoke to, I explained who I was and what I was doing and what my plans were, and he was really wanting to get involved, and I asked him what the best price he could do if he was given the whole development, and he said he would do it for 0.5%, and that's in the email where he's confirmed the comparables.
And finance, seems you're running about 5% if it were to use development finance.
Yes, so in the cash flow, what I did is rather than just taking a 7% on the 60% of the GDV, I basically apportioned the drawdown figures into when we would need it, and then basically took the saving for not obviously drawing down the money in one go, which I think saved about 40–50K. Which, if you take that off the sort of 7%, it should sort of stack up.
Are you still in full-time employment?
Yes, I am.
And what's the plan if this goes ahead? Are you going to do it on the side? Who will project manage it? Like, who would you put in place as the team?
I haven't thought that far ahead. I just wanted to come here and see whether I could get a deal, and it would probably be a wider conversation with my partner. But as I said, my aspiration and my goal is to be my own property developer and start a company. If I was given this opportunity, I think that I would have to take it.
So far as doing it full time?
Yes.
I'm still trying to process all the information. Wow, there's
It's 6 flats.
I love that
it's
we've
6 flats, Helen.
but I love that we've gone into like the detail
I got that wrong.
of
It's
even
5.
managing the cash flow of the drawdown. Like, you know, that's super impressive.
There seems to be a lot of potential variability on the sales prices, which is what makes or breaks the deal.
I don't see any negatives to affecting that price downwards. You've got solid comparables. You've got a booming market in this area.
You don't. You've got one comparable.
You've got one comparable, which is a ground floor one. It's the worst one in the block.
It's a valid point. If I didn't get the sort of agents back up to that, and you know, the guy's been in business for 34 years, he clearly knows his market, and living in Newquay, I can only see what's happening on my stretch of the coastline, and it is crazy, and I'm assuming that this is happening everywhere. So I can appreciate, you know, one comparable isn't great, but I do feel it's a direct and it's a very good comparable.
That's all that's there. That's all that's there.
Okay. You've heard from everyone else, but you haven't heard from me yet. I've kept quiet, listened to
You've been very quiet.
all this.
Abnormally
all this
quiet.
nonsense. A few things. 1, I know the road. 2, I know where the property is. 3, I've done other deals in Frinton. 4, I know the agent. He's been around a long time, very experienced, sells most of the stuff in Frinton. This market won't continue. So we have to look at this in a year and a half's time and say what is the market likely to be. And if the market's still great, that's a bonus. If the market's flat, things in Frinton take a long time to sell. They've only just allowed having ice cream vans in Frinton. And that, literally, that's true. And I think they had the first pub there 10 years ago. Otherwise, you had to go to a hotel to drink. It's a very, very smart area. But, and it does get a lot of people from London to second home and to retire. It's an expensive area. To say that's only the 17th most popular on the coast of the UK, I'm surprised, to be fair. I thought it would be higher than that.
It was just one report, John.
Yeah, I'm sure it's right. I'm a little bit surprised. I suppose you either love it or hate it. So everyone who doesn't live in Frinton thinks everyone who does live in Frinton is a snob. So, it's a little bit of a love-hate. I mean, it's just up my street. It's just the sort of thing I do. I'd like to investigate the PD to see whether or not why there may be a very good reason why, and there probably is a very good reason why. You can't?
I remember now.
Right.
We're actually doing a rooftop in Tufnell Park.
Yeah.
We got planning permission for it, and then they've announced this PD that can add extra floors.
Yes.
The thing is, there's a condition in the PD that says it's only applicable if you haven't previously applied for planning permission for extra floors. So had we not applied for full planning for our extra floor, we could have got two under PD. Yeah. So this one's torpedoed by the same thing.
What a ridiculous condition.
I know, it's just in the legislation.
That Robert Jenrick needs to kick up the backside in my
Well, they all
view.
do, quite frankly. But you're stuck with what you're stuck with is the
okay,
summary.
Okay. We could
I
go
shouldn't
back
have told
to
you
the,
that, should I?
No, we can go back. Thank you.
Should have told you that after.
We can go back to
The deal.
we can go back to the planners, presumably, and it's tendering council who are right, by the way. I've got something on with at the moment, and they are hard work. But we could presumably go back if we didn't want to do the penthouse. I mean, what worries me about one big item is that it can sit there. If the market's average, it could sit there for a year without selling. And I don't like that. So it's a difficult one. If the market's strong, I'm sure you'll sell it for what you think you'll sell it for and what the agent thinks. If it isn't, it's the sort of thing that can stick around. I mean, you've got to imagine that if you've got a place like Frinton, how many people can afford a penthouse of that price? That's the first thing. How many people want to live in Frinton at any one time, move in? So, and because of the price, you're cutting down the amount of people it appeals to down to probably literally a handful at any one time at the most. So I'd like to investigate whether we could put that into 2 flats, not 1.
Okay.
And I can't see why the planners would object to that.
They've refused it already, John.
They've
tried to do that and it's been refused.
Yeah, but it's already got planning now.
It's got planning for the penthouse, but previous applications were
Yeah,
refused
it has,
for
but
2.
it's got planning. They've allowed it as one big flat.
Yeah.
What's the difference between splitting it into 2? Now it's already got planning. Now is the time to go back and rejig things. You've done that all the time. You've got planning and then you've gone back and rejigged.
Yeah, but if you went in for planning first for the 2, they refused it and forced you to do the 1.
Yeah,
they're certainly not going to let you have the 2, are they?
Why not? They're giving us planning. It's got planning now. I mean, it's the externals they're worried about. They're not worried about the internals.
It could be softened by the fact that it's got the Art Deco style to it now.
You can always give it a go. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. And if myself and Richard will work together and be successful, we will give it a go probably. So it might be that you give it a go. But I'm just saying that potentially is an option. I would like to make you an offer. I don't know what the other's going to do, but as usual,
gang up on you probably.
Gang up on me probably. So what I would like to do, I'm happy to fund the deposit.
Okay.
You set your own property company up.
Okay.
I'll put the deposit into your property company. You get the loan.
Okay.
Yep. And on that basis, I'll put up the deposit. The bank will put up the senior debt and the bill costs. I'll split the profit with you 50-50 after all costs.
Okay, thank you for your offer.
That's a great offer because that was one of the offers that
That's
he
what he's
asked
asked
for.
for. That's
So
option
you've got
2.
what you've asked for, one of your 2 options.
Thank you.
I will follow in quick succession because I can't beat that. So I'm out.
Thank you anyway.
No worries.
Gone very quiet. You don't have your own build team yet,
No.
clearly.
This area is completely new to me.
Yeah.
That won't be a problem.
And although you're very experienced, you are in a professional environment at the moment, so actually doing your own project, you're not experienced. I have no doubt you'll nail it and do extremely well. But I could help you build this. We've done a substantial number of conversions and deals like this, so I could teach you that. But I'd only be interested to do it with someone else.
Okay.
And I do the build, and I run the build side of it,
Okay.
and kind of act as your lead project manager effectively. So it depends what the other guys want to do.
Okay.
I might be willing to do something with you, Nick. I'm actually doing, not in a seaside resort, but in sunny Tufnell Park, a rooftop development of 4 of these sort of penthousey type things. So building on top of existing structures. Haven't done too much of it, but involved in one such project at the moment, which is currently going quite well. So with that experience and Nicholas's experience, that might be something that would work well for you.
Okay. And would that be option 2, I'm assuming, for the...
It's a good question. I probably wouldn't be able to match John's offer. I don't think I think it needs more in it. To be honest, I think John's been incredibly fair to you there. Really fair.
Yeah.
John's bringing the experience and all the money. That's a huge offer. I'd have probably wanted 70% of the equity, so that would be 35 each. That might not work for Ranjan, but you would be getting 2 angels, but less equity.
Yes.
Are you happy to do that, Ranjan?
Yes.
Okay.
I assume you are.
Helen left to
Okay, thank
see
you.
where she's at.
I was working my numbers out on something in between both. I was looking at 60-40, but I don't bring the experience and the hands-onness that the other guys bring, so I'm going to step back and let them fight
But you
it
do
out.
bring the funds.
Would that be option 1 or option 2 for the funds?
2.
Thank you all for your offers. This is incredibly hard. I think I'd like to accept your offer, John. Thank you.
Pleasure. It will be a pleasure to work with you. And guess where I'm going tomorrow afternoon? Down to look at it.
Okay.
Good deal,
Thank you
guys.
very
Well
much. It'll
done.
be great to work with you. And I'm sure, going forward, we'll be doing hopefully plenty of deals together over the next few years.
That's fantastic. It's a dream come true. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Brilliant.
Now, what surprised me about that one was the role reversal between you two. Because normally you want to pokey eyes at built development by splitting it all up, and he wants to keep them big, and this time you swapped around. I couldn't understand what was going on there.
See, it's everything we're doing, Ranjan, is rubbing off on John. That's what it is.
I'm learning.
He's doing a PDHMO on top of a luxury apartment block.
I'm learning. I just know Frinton for the last 30, 40 years. I used to play in the junior tennis tournament there and get humiliated every year. So I just know what can happen when the market gets tough there. It goes from being really good to tough very quickly. Because it's second home money and everything else.
You sound like you're arguing against your investment, John.
No, I'm not. But what I'm saying, not at all. But what I'm saying is, I want to, if I can, I want to mitigate that by being able to split that top one into 2, because I'd rather get
units,
450 times 2 than I would 900 times 1. I know it's more work.
Well, that
But
was
I'd rather take the risk away from
that
it.
first question. Does somebody look to go and spend 1.1? And we thought it was 2, didn't we? Beginning. Does somebody look to spend it? I completely agree. You have to mitigate it.
And I know the agent, and the agent is ballsy.
If anyone can do that split, you can, John.
Well, thank you. Let's
I
see
think
how we
that's
get
really
on.
generous.
I was asking for that, so I thought you would have gone 60-40,
Yeah,
just
that's
because
what
a
I
little
was
bit
in
more
my
than he was
numbers on.
asking for.
Yeah, so far as what each party brings to the table, I think you were very generous.
Yeah.
He's bringing a lot of expertise.
Richard, tell us how you got on then.
Well, it went so much better than expected.
Cool.
There were some sort of tough questions to answer, but in the end, John made the first offer, and then Nicholas and Ranjan made a joint offer, but they wanted sort of slightly more equity than I was hoping to give away.
Okay.
And to be honest, coming into it, John was the angel I wanted, so it's worked out perfectly.
So, Ollie, how are you feeling today?
Feeling good, slightly nervous today, but excited to get in front of the Angels.
Good, yeah, you should be excited. I think you got a really good deal. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I'm looking today to talk about some commercial conversions into residential,
Yep,
taking advantage of new permitted development rules.
absolutely. And where is it located?
Leytonstone, East London.
Okay, and do you do a lot of work around that area?
I'm just starting out, so I'm hopefully to getting a bit of mentoring and guidance along the way as well.
Yeah, so you get the best of both worlds there. You get a
Exactly.
deal, hopefully a little bit of money out of it as well.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
So are you after any of the angels in particular to back you?
I'm interested to hear what they've all got to say, really.
Okay.
I'm open to
Open to offers.
offers.
Well, good luck. I hope it goes really, really well.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Ollie, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you very much for coming today. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and also about the deal you brought us? Thank you.
Hi, so my name is Ollie Ryan. I was born in London, grew up in Manchester, did a mechanical engineering degree in Leeds. Currently living in Walthamstow. From the university stage, I've worked for a leading architects practice, Foster & Partners, as commercial and contractual management. I've since moved over to main contracting, where I've worked as a mechanical electrical manager. I now run my own consultancy. I deal with things in sort of Mayfair, Belgravia, high-end resi, and I also have been dealing with office spaces, shared workspaces and church conversions, etc. I'm at a stage where I'm running my own consultancy, and I've also, on my third or fourth project myself, which have been flips, I've been doing this in East London, and at the moment I'm selling my time on a one-to-one basis on consultancy. I'm really looking to move over to do more property, and I think the system and where I'm going to get the scale and the use of my capabilities would be from commercial to resi conversions. I was really looking to bring you a deal today that I could do. I was looking at this Santander bank in Leytonstone. I'm at a stage where I'm looking to really break into this area. I'm looking for a JV partner to do it with, whereby it'd be a 50-50 split. I would be bringing the capabilities of doing the construction management, the sourcing, the procurement, and I'd be looking for a financial partner in this, but with the properties to be sourced. So really I've come today with the sort of introduce myself, tell you a little bit about my capabilities and how I might fit with you
Okay.
on doing something
Okay.
in the East London area.
Okay. Just give us the bottom line figures on it all. So it's 1,800 square feet, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was on at 350.
It was on at 350.
Yeah.
You might be spending 150 on renovation works.
Yeah.
It's got I managed to get the GA of the ground floor and basement off the estate agents. It's also got third and fourth floor. It's got a potential for 3 flats plus the commercial space at the front.
Yeah. And the GDV?
It'd probably be, I would estimate with 3 flats, you're somewhere around the £1.2 million range.
Okay. Ranjan, this looks like your deal all over, doesn't it? The sort of thing you've done over the years many times.
Yes. Very interesting kind of deal. Plenty of more of these coming up. So on this one, for example, what's happening with the upstairs, the first and second floor? Because I noticed you didn't mention any of that in.
They don't mention that, but it is included in the freehold, and it's a vacant building at the moment. The agent was being rather tricky about access. I can't imagine why.
I know the agents, I know why.
At the moment, it's just office space that was used predominantly above the bank for.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So based on this example, you've basically only assessed this for making one residential dwelling.
What I've done in the example there is I've given a high and low range of properties that I'm looking at that would fit within my sort of capabilities at the moment, and also with experiences in the main contracting, that the projects that would lend themselves to me, because it might not be something that you'd wish to load up with a large project team or a large consultancy fee, and it fits nicely within that sort of area where it wouldn't necessarily warrant that kind of expertise, bringing them in externally.
You've come in here, you're very qualified, you're very experienced. You're the sort of person that I would like to joint venture with because of your qualifications and your experience. With your experience, any one of the angels here can fund a relatively large deal in terms of, between, 500,000 and certainly 2 or 3 million. What you bring to the table is better, with all the due respect, and I do deals like this, so I'm doing myself down as well. I'm not sure you want to be faffing around with this type of thing when you can probably bring, you know, a nice conversion or even a new build deal to the table.
Where there's muck, there's grass, John. Where there's muck,
Yeah.
there's grass.
I'm not saying there is, but this man's qualified. He's not like you. He's not like me, right? He's got proper qualifications in the building industry.
I'm not disputing his qualifications.
So what I'm saying is these deals are fine, but actually, you know, he's been doing stuff in Mayfair and all these other places. He could actually
look,
probably
there's plenty of stuff we can all do.
Yeah.
I think the issue here is that there is a fantastic opportunity with these sort of buildings, particularly in high value areas.
Yes.
In high value areas where the NGDV is quite a lot per square foot. There's plenty of brass in what you consider muck. Now, it's all down to what you think you can get out of it. I've done quite a few of these banks, done a couple of Santanders, HSBCs, Barclays, pretty much all of them.
Like Halifax. Bank robber at the moment.
Well, I'm pretty much a bank robber because
over the years.
I've done a few bank jobs in my time. Now you can edit that out as a clip.
To be fair, over the years, a few people might agree with you as well. Go on.
But it's to optimise what you can get out of it. And what I see when I get these lists, and I get these lists, you know, I get these in advance. I know all these guys anyway. But the point is that when these things come out, it's what you can get out of it, because the value, because they never give you a fixed price. Because they don't know how to value it.
Yeah.
They just stick a guide price on, and the value is in the eye of the beholder's spreadsheet. If you can see if you can connect the dots and get a higher GDV than the next guy, then you can afford to pay more than the next guy, make a decent profit, and knock them out the park. And that's the thing with these sort of things. What can you get out of it?
I think from my point of view, I quite like the ability to try and go solve the problem like that. I come from a background where I've mainly dealt with grade 2 buildings, not new builds. I have come from that sort of dealing with older buildings, having to convert them, looking at the layout, working out how the services run through buildings.
Now, I do a lot of listed buildings, a lot of grade 2 style listed buildings, conversions, and I'd love to do a joint venture with you. Go and find me something that doesn't look like that, and of a higher quality and more money, and you and I will be doing some deals together. Promise you that.
Oh, that sounds like a good challenge to me.
Quite frankly, I have to disagree. I see 4 flats in this building. And, you know, in East London, you know, the GDVs. The thing is, if you can see it, there's a huge amount of uplift potential. No, I won't say any more at this stage. Carry on.
I feel you know more about the building.
Great area. Have you chosen this area because it's kind of local to you? What's the interest in this area?
So I'm based in Walthamstow. I've got a keen interest in East London.
Yeah, me too.
Part of it is I you know, if I can be on my doorstep to help manage something and it works in my schedule, you know, that little instruction that someone else gets during the day helps things move on quicker.
No, there's so much power in local knowledge. Like I say, I'm doing a deal in East London at the moment. I used to live in East London as well. And certainly what I'm looking for in people that I work with is somebody being kind of hands-on, being there, being on site and managing it, because that's where I've seen things go wrong in the past when people sod off to, I don't know, Malta, for example, and, you know, and take their eye off the ball. So I think I like what you're doing, and I like the commitment to the area as well.
Thank you. And that's where you can like leverage my time and my capabilities and what I'm used to. The bit that is slightly foreign to me is the setting up the deal and the analysis bit. I'm on my sort of 4th project myself, which I've, you know, found they've been probates, they've been Section 42 notices, this kind of thing.
Ollie, don't worry about that. With me, we've got, between us, we've got the whole package. Don't worry about that. Nick, sorry, Helen.
So you've done flips previously?
I have done flips. The last one was a flip, but a refinance, and that's the one I'm currently in.
Right.
With enough cash to go again.
I think you're highly investable. I think John would be a great partner for you. I think any of the other angels probably would. Yeah, I mean, I do this stuff as well, so I'm probably better off keeping 100% of the profit when I do it. And actually, you've not brought a tangible deal, and I'm sort of deal-based. So I don't think I can really add any value as your partner at this point, because I'm better off doing it on my own. And that's where I'm at really. So yeah, I can't offer you any sort of partnership or investment today, but
I appreciate that. I'm working with what I've got. So
you've already got at least one offer, and we'll wait to hear from the other guys.
Paul?
I agree. I think you're a very investable person. You know, you're impressive. You've got the experience. You know, a deal like the example you've given would be of interest. You know, around that sort of 25% profit on GDV. You know, it's a conversion. The structure already exists. It should be relatively straightforward to make it work. But you know, what I can offer as a partner, I suppose, is I don't have the experience that John has, and I don't have the experience that Rajan has in this sort of thing either. But you know, I have done pretty well in all types of business. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've made quite a lot of money quite quickly, and I think for that reason, we would be quite a good partnership.
thank you, appreciate that.
And modesty.
And modesty, of course, yeah.
This is a one-off.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming, Ollie. And let's my contact details later, and anyone else as you want, and let's see what we can do together.
John,
and what we can achieve.
You didn't let me say anything.
Well, you finished.
You didn't let me. No, you didn't let me make.
Oh, sorry.
an offer.
You carry on. I thought you'd said your bit.
No, not at all. I was waiting for you guys to finish off, really. Listen, this is all my bag. And the problem with these sort of things is that they're on a competitive bid. So there'll be, these people will get at least 30 bidders going for this sort of stuff. And this isn't the way to find this sort of deal. Now, one of the things, I have an investment in a bit of a prop tech company. And what we're doing is using clever data gathering to identify owners of properties. And we've currently got more than 1,000 letters going out to sites like these in high value areas where we are accessing the vendors directly. So my proposition to you is that I know this stuff, we've got the leads, we'll set up a company together, and we'll get the funding, and we'll go halves on the profit with you using your extensive experience to kind of manage the M&E component.
That would be fantastic. That'd be really good, yeah.
Well, you've just blown us all out the water, haven't you?
That's unbelievable, yeah.
Ranjan.
Brilliant.
Presumably.
So
I like his CV, and I've got these
Great
sort of
CV.
projects. I've got these sort of projects.
Yeah,
and
you have, yeah.
He's right. It
Yeah.
needs that person on the ground
I think
to
you can
kind of figure out the detail.
Yeah, but
and we can work together.
I just think with you, he's selling himself short, because I think he's got a lot more experience in Mayfair and all these other nice places, and doing some high quality, high end developments. And I think that you and I could work very well together on that. But it's entirely your choice.
we've got two offers there, effectively. Do you want to have a little think about who would be your preferred partner?
I think, given the type of project that I came in and the mindset I walked in with, Ranjan's just made a really great offer that's just completely blown me away there, with the ability to source and set up. So, John,
congratulations.
thank you, Ranjan. Yeah.
Why do you think I try to close them down early? Well done, well done.
So, Ollie, you seem quite speechless.
Yeah, I am.
Try
yeah.
and tell me what happened.
So, slightly blown away by that. Tried to match my capabilities to what the investors might be looking for.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think Ranjan saw that and he made me a really fantastic offer.
Okay, tell us.
So he's basically offered through using his tech company, where he sends sourcing letters out to help me source a property and then come in on a JV at 50-50. So for me, I'm delighted.
Amazing news.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You seem chuffed with that. You
I
seem
am,
very
yeah.
happy.
I'm very happy about that.
Good. Well, good luck.
So the nerves will die down now and
Yep,
time to enjoy the rest of the evening.
definitely. Go and get a glass of wine in.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay.
And safe journey home.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.